I'm Mike. I'm a 30-year-old single man. Right now, I work at a food factory. Since all the women at my workplace are married, I haven't had many opportunities to meet someone. And I spend my days feeling lonely without a girlfriend. Is there anywhere I can meet someone? I was thinking this one day when I encountered a very beautiful woman on the train. She had long brown hair and clear light brown eyes, and she was elegantly dressed in a white dress. She was probably in her mid-20s. I was mesmerized by her beauty, but then I noticed she was carrying a lot of bags, so I instinctively stood up. "Excuse me, would you like to take a seat?" "Oh? Really?" "Yes, please don't worry about it. I'm getting off at the next station anyway." "Well, how kind of you." "Thank you so much." As she smiled at me, my heart skipped a beat. It was what they call love at first sight. However, I had plans, so as the train arrived at the station, I left with a heavy heart. I'll probably never see someone so wonderful again. Thinking this, I regretted not doing more, but 3 days later, to my surprise, I ran into her again at the supermarket. I was there to deliver some products for work, and as I was about to leave, I saw her talking to a store clerk. "Oh, I see. You're out of spinach." It seemed she couldn't get the spinach she wanted. After she finished talking to the clerk and headed towards the checkout, I hurried over to her. I knew I couldn't miss this precious chance. Filled with joy from our reunion, I found myself lightly jogging. "Hi, it's been a while." Nervously, I decided to speak up, and she looked surprised. "Oh, you are the person from the other day. Thank you so much for that." "No, not at all. It was nothing. Actually, I saw you talking to the clerk earlier, and I have some spinach from my home garden in my car. I shared some at work, but there's still plenty left, so if you'd like, I'd be happy to give you some." She smiled happily at my offer. "Oh, I'd love that, thank you." So, we went to the parking lot, and I handed her 3 bundles of spinach. Then she introduced herself to me. "My name is Lisa. You've been so kind to me since the other day, so if it's okay, I'd like to properly thank you sometime." And to my surprise, Lisa handed me a note with her contact information. "Thank you for being so considerate. I'm Mike. I'll definitely contact you soon." I walked home with a spring in my step and immediately texted Lisa. We checked our schedules and quickly arranged to meet at the park on Saturday. It had been since my school days that I went on a date, so I was nervous as I waited at the park, and then Lisa showed up carrying a large lunchbox. Today, she was wearing a floral flared skirt and looked as lovely as a fairy. "Mike, good morning. I made us lunch, so let's eat." "What? You made this just for us? I'm so happy. Thank you so much." We sat on a bench in the park and quickly opened the lunchbox. Inside were many colorful dishes like meatballs and greens, which instantly stimulated my appetite. As expected, it was incredibly delicious, and I was so impressed. "This lunch is amazing." "Really? I'm so glad to hear that. By the way, the greens are made from the spinach you gave me." While enjoying the meal, we had a delightful conversation. Lisa is 4 years younger than me at 26 and currently works as a hotel receptionist. Her workplace is a famous luxury hotel, so I said, "That's impressive." Then she said, and had a somewhat complicated expression on her face. Perhaps she doesn't like talking about work in her private time. I decided to avoid work-related topics and instead arranged another date with her. Lisa is not only a great cook but also has a kind and pure heart. With each date, my feelings for her grew stronger, and during our 3rd date in the park, I decided to confess. "Lisa, I like you. I want to keep seeing you like this if that's okay with you." Honestly, I never thought someone as beautiful as her would go for someone like me. It was a bold confession, but to my surprise, Lisa accepted. "I'm so happy. I can't believe you feel the same way. Being with you makes me feel so at ease, Mike. I'd love to continue seeing you." Lisa. Overjoyed that my feelings reached her, I hugged her tightly. She blushed with embarrassment and said, "Oh, Mike," but still put her arm around my shoulder. We stayed like that, feeling our happiness, hugging on the park bench for a while. Even after we officially started dating and spent happy days together, Lisa still didn't talk much about her personal life. I figured we could talk about it whenever she felt ready. We continued our enjoyable relationship, and one day, we were having coffee at a newly opened cafe. We were enjoying a casual conversation, but suddenly, from the neighboring table behind the partition, a woman in a dress and a man in a suit came over and stood in front of us. Both of them were probably in their mid-50s. I wondered what they wanted with us, and Lisa spoke up with a pale face. "Father. Auntie. You were sitting next to us?" It seemed like an unexpected encounter with her family, and Lisa was flustered. Judging from Lisa's demeanor, it seems she is very confused about the fact that I ran into her family. Seeing her like that, I felt a bit uneasy, but I knew I should greet them despite my nerves. Caught off guard, I nervously introduced myself. I'm Mike. Lisa has been very kind to me." I managed to greet them. Lisa's aunt looked at me directly and spoke. "I overheard your conversation. Are you Lisa's boyfriend?" "Yes. I'm Mike, and I'm dating Lisa." Sensing a tense atmosphere, I answered, and her father looked taken aback. It was only natural since he unexpectedly met his daughter's boyfriend. "What do you do for work, Mike?" "I work at a food factory." "A factory, huh? By the way, how much do you earn each month?" "Auntie, please stop. It's rude to ask such personal questions to someone you've just met." "Lisa. Be quiet. I'm asking Mike." I was bewildered by the sudden question but answered honestly, "I make about $1,700 a month." Their expressions turned grim, and her aunt sternly told Lisa, "Lisa, you need to break up with this man immediately. Mike is not suitable for you." "That's not true." The unexpected loud voice of her aunt caused Lisa to panic as well. I was also taken aback by such sudden accusations. To show them that my feelings for her were genuine, I said, "I will definitely make Lisa happy." At that moment, her father glared at me and spoke. "I'm sorry, but you can't make Lisa happy. She lives in a completely different world than you." For a moment, I couldn't understand what he meant, but as soon as he handed me his business card, I understood everything. Lisa's father was James Anderson, the CEO of a major hotel group known as the Hotel King. Yes, Lisa was the daughter of a corporate CEO. As I stared intently at the business card, Lisa spoke out passionately. "That doesn't matter. I don't need anything as long as I have him. No matter what you say, the reality is different. We're saying this for your sake." "That's right, Lisa. Now, let's go home. Until you change your mind, you won't be allowed to leave the house, and your phone will be confiscated." "That's so cruel." "Lisa." "Mike, was it?" "You are no longer allowed to see Lisa." Ignoring our pleas, they forcibly grabbed Lisa's arm and dragged her away. I wanted to chase after her, but the shock of the reality hit me so hard that I couldn't move. Indeed, as they said, I wasn't a match for her at this point. Even if I begged for their daughter's hand, it would be in vain. From then on, Lisa and I lost all contact. But I couldn't forget about Lisa. Then, 2 months after the incident at the cafe, I saw Mr. Anderson on my way home from work in a dining area. He was arguing with a suspicious-looking man in a narrow alley off the main dining street. Sensing that something was wrong, I hurried to the alley. "Stop making demands. Why should I pay an extra $1,000? Come on, sir. That's the service fee. You have to pay it." Seeing this exchange, I couldn't stay silent and stood in front of the man. "If you continue to make demands, you'll regret it. We can take this to the authorities." Seeing my 6-foot frame, the man shrank back and quickly disappeared, saying, "Sorry, just a joke." Mr. Anderson looked embarrassed as he spoke. "You had no obligation to help me." I noticed that he was quite drunk. In this state, he wouldn't be able to get home safely. "This place is dangerous. Let's get out of here." I guided Mr. Anderson out of the alley to a safer path. He said, "I'm a bit tired, so I decided to take a break on a nearby park bench." For a while, he sat silently in a daze, but then he slowly began to speak. "Since then, my daughter hasn't spoken to me at all. Feeling desperate, I went to a bar I don't usually visit and got caught in a scam. I was an easy target for them. I understand how you feel, but you must be careful when drinking. There are people like that out there. You really are a good young man. I can see why Lisa chose you. I couldn't believe my ears. Mr. Anderson, who had denied me so harshly, was now saying this. He then confided in me. Actually, I married into my wife's family. I couldn't give up on her despite the opposition, so I married her. I see. I was shocked to learn about his background. I had assumed he was a privileged heir, but that wasn't the case. I worked hard to be accepted, but more often than not, I wasn't welcomed. My wife and her parents were good people and tried to shield me from gossip, but I felt ashamed for causing trouble. I didn't want my daughter to go through the same, so I acted the way I did towards you. Mr. Anderson. Hearing his story, I felt my chest tighten. Mr. Anderson took out his phone and gazed lovingly at the wallpaper, which showed Lisa in a beautiful dress. But the most important thing is my daughter's happiness. I went through the pain of having my marriage opposed by others. And yet I did the same to you. I'm truly sorry. After a brief silence, Mr. Anderson told me he wanted me to make Lisa happy. Actually, Mr. Anderson, there's something I haven't told you. What is it? I then made a surprising revelation to him. A significant change had occurred in my life during the 2 months since our separation at the cafe. Lisa. This is your date for today. Dad. You can't just arrange things without asking me. Wait, what? As I opened the door and entered the private room of the restaurant, Lisa froze in shock. Her mother, Grace, and Mr. Anderson were also seated at the table. She never expected me to appear at the arranged marriage meeting. I handed over my business card and introduced myself to Lisa. Let me introduce myself properly. I am Mike, now a candidate for an executive position at X Foods. What? How did you become an executive candidate? Lisa. I was wrong. It seems you were right about people. Mike is actually the heir of X Foods. Yes, I am the only son of a major food company, X Foods. Following my father's educational policy of learning and proving yourself at a regional branch rather than the headquarters while you're young, I had been working at a factory handling X Foods products. My father always said that if I couldn't deliver results or if I lacked the necessary skills, he wouldn't let me take over the company. Even as his son. I believed that to be worthy of Lisa, I needed my father's approval first. That's why I hadn't told Lisa about my background until the right time came. Now that I had been assigned to the headquarters, I asked Mr. Anderson to arrange a formal meeting with Lisa. Hearing my revelation, Lisa sat down in her chair in shock. No way. Mike is an heir too. With a partnership with X Foods, our hotel could prosper even more. Grace smiled elegantly with a fan in hand. Facing them, Mr. Anderson apologized to Lisa. Indeed. I want you to marry Mike. He is an outstanding young man, even without considering his background. Lisa, I'm sorry for how we treated you. My sister and I deeply regret it. Seeing her father apologize, Lisa was wide-eyed in surprise. She never expected her father to apologize to her. I felt inferior for not being an heir or receiving elite education, and I acted without considering your feelings. That's why my sister got emotional and made a scene. Your mother and grandparents always supported me despite the challenges. But I felt like a failure. I didn't want you to go through that, so I acted as I did. Holding her father's hand, Lisa spoke. But you surpassed my grandfather's achievements through your own efforts, didn't you? I admired how you and Mom built a wonderful relationship beyond family status. I thought I could have that with Mike, no matter his background. I'm truly happy that you accepted him because inviting both of you to our wedding has been my dream since I was a child. Lisa. Hearing her words, Mr. Anderson's eyes filled with tears, and Grace spoke to him. That's right. Even though our marriage was initially opposed, you are now a hotel king. I'm so fortunate to have married a man like you. As a businessman and a father, I aspire to be like you. Mr. Anderson, no, Dad. Everyone. Thank you so much. He expressed his gratitude with tears of joy. This day became a special one not only for Lisa and me but also for him. With our engagement officially decided, I invited Lisa to X Foods. This place is amazing. I never imagined it was this big. Seeing my true workplace for the first time, Lisa covered her mouth in surprise. X Foods, being a major company, had a large skyscraper. From now on, we would likely start serious business collaborations with her father's hotel group. I need to work hard, just like your dad. Mike, you're so motivated. But honestly, I'm just happy to have you by my side. When Lisa leaned on my shoulder, I felt a surge of energy throughout my body. Just having you by my side is enough. Such warm words from the one you love must have been what inspired her dad's heart too. For the sake of love, her dad was able to achieve such great success. Because I love her, I want to work hard for Lisa's sake too. Lisa. Thank you. I will spend my life making you happy. Later, we held a grand wedding at the luxury hotel where Lisa worked. Her dad, with tears of joy, said congratulations and took countless photos of Lisa in her wedding dress with his phone.